Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a special edition of the J.P. Peterson Show here as we come to you live from Riveters in beautiful South Tampa. My man, Johnny Gerber, is here, PGA Pro, as we're going to take a gander at the end of this U.S. Open.
Yeah.
Talk a little Buccaneers today, and we're going to give away some front row tickets to a Rays game. Welcome to Tampa, my friend.
All right. You guys think it's hot here, but we're coming from Dallas, and this is a spring day for us, except for the rain. The rain cools you off here, right? We don't get that rain in Dallas. We just get hot and then hot and hot.
Well, they're not dealing with any rain at the U.S. Open today.
No, they
Thank
aren't.
God.
And they wish they would. They're going to be begging for some rain here in the next couple of days because the golf course is playing soft right now. And that's why you see some of the scores that you've seen. I didn't think anybody could shoot 4 under par tonight. I didn't. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on in terms of the U.S. Open. But it's going to change. Listen, I got calls all day yesterday, and people were asking me all the time, what do they think the winning score was going to be? And my answer was, whatever Oakmont wants the winning score to be. That's what it's going to be. And it's going to be intriguing, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But I'm excited about it. I told you yesterday, and we previewed it on the shows this week, that this is the most excited I've ever been for a U.S. Open in terms of just a lot. It's just a lot. There's so many storylines for this U.S. Open for a long time. And you hope, and I think this is what's going to happen. You hope, and I know it's at the end of the week, the golf course is going to be the story.
It's going to be the winner.
In a good way, right? So, listen, looking forward to talking about the U.S. Open here in the middle of our show.
We also got Buccaneers camp, which concluded today, OTAs, day 3. We got a chance to talk to Mike Evans today, so we'll throw a little Mike Evans interview at you today. You know, Mike said some interesting things today, mostly about some of his new compatriots, Tez Johnson and Emeka Egbuka, who has been absolutely spectacular since he's gotten here. Of course, we all know it's no pads yet. But you can see special in receivers. Great, shows up quickly. And Egbuka is something special. He's absolutely something special. As Mike said, he's got strong hands like Chris Godwin, reminds him of Chris Godwin, who's basically the second best receiver in the history of the Buccaneers behind Mike Evans. So strong words coming from Mike Evans when you're talking about a young rookie like that.
And I've been around that guy for probably the last 3 or 4 years, just growing up in Columbus, still have a lot of ties at Ohio State. And I think that's a little bit of testament to Brian Hartline. And, Egbuka could have left last year and maybe not have been a first-round pick, but probably would have been a mid-second-round pick. But I think you're creating – and like I said, this is the questions I wanted to ask you, and I wanted to ask Scott when he comes on a little bit later is, are they looking for somebody that's a character guy like Mike Evans was? Are they looking for somebody to be here for a long period of time? Like Mike, and Emeka Egbuka is a character guy more so than anything else. There was probably 3 or 4, wide receivers maybe rated a little bit higher than him in terms of athletic ability and talent, catch radius, be able to break the defense. But he was probably number 1 on most boards in terms of character. And I think that's what you're building here in Tampa. Maybe if you looked 5 or 6 years ago, would you have drafted him? With the old regime. Now you got the kind of new regime with Jason Light here. They're building characters. And you have a Super Bowl roster. You're going to bring in a guy like Egbuka. He's going to get a lot of playing time, but he's also probably going to build the future and build your locker room for a long time.
He'll eventually be a captain of this team.
That's right.
Just like he was at Ohio State.
Yeah, and like I said, he stayed at Ohio State for a reason. A little bit is to kind of groom Jeremiah Smith a little bit, knowing that he was going to take a back seat to Jeremiah Smith. There's no substitute for a guy like that would say, listen, I want to win a national championship. I know this guy's better than me, but I want to stick around, groom him a little bit, create the culture, what they have at Ohio State. And Brian Hartline telling him that, and even with Egbuka staying there next year, he was getting better. I mean, Brian Hartline, he was getting better coaching. So, you look at a guy like that. I mean, there's no substitute for a guy that you would bring in like that. Even though he's a rookie, he will probably feel his presence early. Yeah, absolutely.
And listening to Mike Evans talk, listening to Todd Bowles, I asked Todd Bowles about Buka yesterday, and high praise from him. Said he knows all three positions already, can step right out there and play. And if you're a rookie, to jump in and be able to know all three positions, wide receiver positions, the entire playbook in the first mandatory OTA and the voluntary OTAs, that's impressive.
Yeah,
that's impressive. That's a mature professional receiver already. And I think he's, even if and I don't think Chris is going to be ready, Godwin. I don't think he'll be ready for week one. We really don't know when he's going to be ready. In fact, he's not been out on the field, not even working out with the trainers on the side. We don't know, but that's not a great sign. If he were further along, I think he would be out there doing that, and he's not. So now there's 6 weeks to training camp, another couple of months to the beginning of the season. But this is an extremely serious injury that Chris had. There were a lot of torn ligaments, a broken bone in the ankle, and we'll see when he gets back. I mean, if anybody can get back from this, it's Chris Godwin. He is the ultimate warrior, the ultimate rehab warrior, as we saw with his knee injury, and he'll get back. It's just and they don't have to rush him now that they have a Buka, and that's why they drafted him.
And you got a guy kind of similar to Chris Godwin, right? Like, he's not going to take the top off the defense, but he's not going to miss a route. Like, he's a route runner. He is regimented. He reminds me a little bit of a guy like, I hate to go back too far, just my lineage of Ohio State, but he's a kind of a guy like Chris Carter. He's not gonna miss a route. He's gonna have great hands. You're gonna see his percentage of catches is probably gonna be as good as anything in terms of Tampa Bay, especially as a rookie. So you're looking at a guy that's dependable, gonna show up early, gonna leave late, not gonna miss practice, not gonna get in trouble, gonna run great routes, and he's just dependable.
Yeah,
and that's a good quality.
And getting the chance to watch him play for the last 3 days in practice. We were there for every practice, and you can see that he already has the trust of Baker Mayfield. He already has the trust of Baker Mayfield. They'll do situationals where it's a call-up period where Bowles will just say 3rd and 9, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 12, and the Grizz has got to call the play. The new OC, Josh Grizzard's got to call the play, and then they'll run through their audible checks and execute the play, and multiple 3rd down choices. And that's with Evans out there. That's with J-Mac out there. That's with all the weapons out there. Baker's choosing to throw the ball to Buka, and he's open. And when he's not fully separated, which he usually is, but if he's in a combat catch situation, he comes down with the ball. And that's a special quality, especially for a rookie, because rookies, you saw this from Jalen McMillan last year. It took him at least half the season to get to that physicality point where, in college ball, you can get away with a lot. In college, in the professionals, the corners are so much stronger. They're so much faster. They're so much better. You're constantly having to fend them off with your body. And if you're not big enough or strong enough or aggressive enough, you're not going to make the play. And J-Mac was having some issues with that early on, clearly solved them in the second half of the season. Buka hasn't even gotten to training camp, and he's already that guy.
Yeah.
So he's just so polished, and he'll be a huge impact on this team, no question.
Yeah, and you look at him also, he's probably a little bit bigger than what you think he is when he's out there, and he's physically bigger. And I think that's also because he stayed at college next year. He's getting that extra training. He's getting an extra work. And I think you have those 3 receivers that are a little bit different with McMillan and Evans and now Buka, that you can spread them out a little bit more, and they're not the same receiver. Right. So you have a lot of diversity where Baker can go. My only question is, and this is something I really wanted to talk to you a little bit about while I'm here, is what are they going to do if Baker goes down? I mean, what is their backup plan? Because you have the receivers, and I think that's with Bucky back there, and I think your extra running back, Bucky's pushed him a little bit. Rashad White to get a little bit better. So what is the contingency plan if something happens to Baker? Because Kyle Trask isn't it. I mean,
it's interesting you say that.
Outside looking in, it's not it.
It's interesting you say that, because I was watching him the last couple of days, and today he got all the first reps because Baker was sitting out. And there were multiple times where they were running the call-up period, 3rd downs, where he had red zone. They had a couple that did a bunch in the red zone, and he had open receivers, and he either didn't pull the trigger or missed them badly. And you can't, when you have open receivers in the red zone, and I mean open means, a yard separation, that's wide open in the red zone. You have to be extremely accurate with your passing. Your timing has to be extremely accurate. Baker is fantastic at it. Brady was the best ever. Trask just doesn't have it. I haven't seen it. He didn't see it today. And I asked Todd Bowles about him. I said, if it comes to that, and there has to be a considerable amount of time, if Baker were out 4 to 6 weeks, are you confident in Trask? And he said, yes, but we got to see more in the preseason. He's got to cut down on the turnovers. And reading his body language was like, he's got to show us more. And if I'm the Buccaneers right now, from what I've seen from him, unless he shows a lot of, but the other part about this, you don't want to wait the preseason to, halfway through preseason to go out and try to find a backup quarterback. You want the guy in now, learning the system, working with these players and getting ready. So it's a gamble that they're taking. It's a huge gamble that they're taking because this is a Super Bowl roster.
Yeah.
And, much like when the Eagles won the Super Bowl with Nick Foles and Carson Wentz went down, that was a Super Bowl roster. They had a guy that could step up and obviously take over and win a Super Bowl. I don't think Trask is that guy. I just don't think he's that guy.
3 years in your system, and when Todd Bowles says, but, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
You're 3 years in, man.
I think 4 years now.
Well, 4 years.
Yeah, 4
you
years
don't need
in.
a but after, hey, do you think Kyle Trask? You don't need a but after your 3 years in the system. Now, there hasn't been a lot of shuffling coaching, right? So he's learning the system.
No.
He's got the system. So
he's a new OC. Grizzard's a new OC.
Yeah,
He's
this
put some
year,
wrinkles
but
in.
the last 3 years
yeah.
it happened with Liam Combs still being here. But when you have that, if you have that trust, there shouldn't be a but, right?
Right.
If you really do. So what do you do? These guys, and my concern and my question is, the guys on the field, do they feel confident? I'm the coaching staff. The coaching staff has to say what they have to say, right? They have to get in front of the podium and they have to say, yeah, this potentially is our guy. But what do you see in front of the players? The players know more than anything else. Will they go to bat for Kyle Trask after 3 years? I don't know. I mean,
Well, they're not going to say anything publicly, right?
the coaching staff for sure.
Yeah, and neither are the players. It's got to be we the media who go to these practices and we watch. I mean, this was a perfect opportunity for Kyle Trask to show something today.
Yeah.
I know it's just an OTA, and I know it's not even training camp, but he was the guy today. Baker didn't dress, and he was getting all ones. And there were opportunities for him to make plays and get the ball down the field. And in my mind, he just didn't make enough of it. He checks the ball down a lot. And you've got to be able to push the ball down the field. And again, in the red zone, there were a couple plays to make to Tez. Tez was open, missed him badly. There was a couple times he missed the guy on an out at the front pylon. Those are just throws you got to make. And I know Kyle Trask is probably sitting there going, I could have been better today. And you don't get a lot of opportunities when you're that guy. So when you get them, you should be showing the coaches that you're the guy. And I don't think the coaches can be looking at what they've seen the last couple of days and say, we're okay with Kyle Trask.
Too many weapons, right?
Yeah.
Too many opportunities, too many weapons to let them, the offensive guys, the receivers, the check downs are, for a guy like that that's been in that system, especially in training camp, why are you checking it down? I mean,
Right.
Show something.
He's
Something.
and yesterday he threw a couple picks. Baker threw 3 picks yesterday too, but Trask I think he threw 1 pick and another one that was dropped.
Would you rather see the picks and at least him being aggressive and
I'd rather
showing something?
see him complete some passes down the field.
Fair.
That's what I'd like to see.
Fair.
That's what I'd like to see. And the part we don't know because Kyle's not played. Yeah. He's got no real experience in the NFL that we can say, okay, at least he's had a couple of starts. Hell, Cooper Rush has had a bunch of starts and throw for 300 yards a game in Dallas a couple of times. We don't have any of that in the pros to us to say, well, look, Kyle Trask has done it in a game. He hasn't.
Yeah.
And I think that's a pretty damn big risk when you have a roster like this.
So what do they go moving forward? What do they do? I mean, do you get a guy? Do you bring back Jameis Winston? I mean, I know it's a joke, but kind of not a joke. But
listen, Jameis has got a hell of a lot more experience than Kyle Trask.
Yeah.
And as many of you will say, a lot of experience throwing picks.
At least he's completing something, right? I mean,
is that better than Kyle Trask? I don't know. I know this. Chris Godwin and Mike Evans have caught touchdown passes from Jameis Winston.
That's right.
They haven't caught any touchdown passes from Kyle Trask.
Fair.
So, I mean, that's a discussion, honestly, at the highest level for the Buccaneers. I think there's other guys out there that you could win with that have had experience in this league. There may be some guys that come available in this league in preseason. So we'll see. But if I'm Jason Light, I'm probably asking myself, am I comfortable having a guy with basically no professional experience behind Baker Mayfield with a roster that's ready to win the Super Bowl?
Well, yeah, I think this year you have the highest expectations here that you've had in a long time, right? So having those expectations, and Lord forbid, nothing happens to Baker, but you still have to have a plan that you have somebody in place with the roster that you have. That listen, it's inevitable that a quarterback is going to get injured, whether he's hurt, can't play. It just happens.
Right.
It's just part of the
starter
deal.
will go down.
With the roster that they have, and I think they have the top 5 rosters in the NFL.
I do too.
I do. So, how far of a downgrade can they go with the roster that they have? They can't. They have to get somebody in there.
Some experience.
Kyle Trask in there, they go from a top 5 roster and potentially win the Super Bowl to maybe not making the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's true. You guys can comment, by the way, on YouTube and on X and on our Facebook as well. Thomas reminds us that Jameis is under contract. We know that, Thomas. You'd have to trade for him.
That's nothing.
Yeah, or the Giants might, if Jackson Dart steps up, the guy they drafted out of Ole Miss, if he steps up in preseason and they're comfortable with him being the backup, then they'll look to either release him or trade Jameis to somebody who does lose a starter. And please don't even come at me with this.
Yeah, and listen, as
Kaepernick.
As much
I know you're joking.
As much as everybody wants to think that Russell Wilson is going to go in there and be the mentor of Jackson Dart or Jameis Winston in New York, he's not. Listen, he's been in 2 places and he's shunned away from that, right? So Jackson Dart's going to get his opportunities for the Giants
eventually.
Eventually,
yeah.
Sure. I firmly think that. Yeah. Now, is Jameis Winston will stay there? Would he love? Question to you: Would he like to come back to Tampa?
Oh God, yes. Oh my God, if he could come back here and play with these guys, it'd be a dream come true for him.
And they loved him here.
Oh, they loved him. The players love him. The fans can say what they want, but the players absolutely love him. But again, there's a lot that the organization would have to go through to get to that point, frankly. And again, from an X's and O's standpoint, I don't know if he's the guy because he is a freaking turnover machine.
Sure,
he just is, and he showed that last year. He's there are flashes of brilliance, but he just does not know when not to throw the ball. It just does.
You guys want to give up draft capital for Jameis Winston?
Move the ball down the field, but your defense is going to be put in some bad situations.
Yeah.
So you're going to score points, but you're also going to put your defense in some bad situations at times. So I don't know. I think there may be other better choices out there. Tim loves Tyler Huntley. There are other backup quarterbacks out there that have had. I mean, look, if they were any good, they'd be on teams. But we're just talking about guys who have experience in this league that you can bring in and might be able to do it. It's probably a moot conversation because they're going with Kyle Trask. They signed him to a 2-year deal extension, so that's who they want. But I could just say right now, there's no way they can feel confident in him after what they saw this week. It wasn't a stellar performance, and he's going to, as Bowles said today, and he said it. Kyle's got to cut down on his turnovers, and that's in practice. And he's got to show something in preseason. Bowles said that today. I asked him the question. So, yeah, they're looking for him to show something. And I would not be shocked if between now and then they went out and got somebody or in preseason went out and got somebody. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Mike Holcomb is here. We might just have you come up here and talk, Mike, on the microphone. It says, Jameis won me a fantasy Super Bowl his last year at Tampa Bay because I pick up the defense he played against. Well, in fantasy, he was probably a great fantasy too because he's throwing 4 touchdowns every. You get more points for touchdowns than you do for picks.
He's going to shoot 60 or 80. It's just what it is. 60 or 80. It's just what it is.
60 or 80. Somebody's going to be happy on every play.
That's right.
That's one thing we know about him. All right, by the way, we're giving away 2 front row tickets to a Rays game. I got to find out exactly which game we're giving them away to, but they'll be coming up maybe in the next homestand. So I haven't figured out how we're going to give them away yet. I think we'll do a little trivia question, little Rays trivia question. First one to get it right must be present to win. By the way, you can't be on watching on X or on YouTube and send in your answer because sorry, you're not going to win. So I have a pretty good feeling that Mike Holcomb's going to win these tickets.
He seems
he should.
He seems like he's a pretty trivia-based guy.
I think any Rays trivia I put out there, Mike's going to get it. Yeah. If he doesn't know it off the top of his head, he sure as hell's going to Google it.
He's jumping on that phone real quick and pushing a bunch of buttons there. So I think he's a winner by default, anyways.
Tim Witherspoon says, "I think Baker is favorish. He'll stay on the field." Oh, is that favorish? Favorish. Is that a word?
Is that mean tough?
It means he's tough. They'll take it. Yeah, absolutely. Sure. B says, tell Johnny that Billy Horschel said hi.
Oh, boy.
Is that your boy?
From his couch, right? From his couch in Jacksonville.
Yeah, he's on crutches, right?
Yeah. Where he needs to be.
What he tear a ligament in his knee or something?
Who knows with him?
Now, we're having a couple of technical issues, by the way. There was a nationwide outage for StreamYard, which is the program we use to bring this to you. Also, I think Google was down today. Gmail was down today. A lot of the different programs that folks used to work on, Workday, and a lot of others were down today. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now.
We're still here, buddy. We're going.
I don't know if any of us will be here tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see.
But at least we have today, or at least this moment.
That's right.
So we'll keep it rolling. All right, we're going to try to take a break here real quick, and I'll tell you that we are brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. So if you have any issues, any legal issues whatsoever, the Jeeves Law Group can help you out with a free consultation. Just contact them through the website, and Jeeves Law Group will help you out. Not attorney spokesman, offices Tampa and St. Pete. Well, also brought to you by Onsite Construction. OnsiteConstructionFL.com is the website. So go to the website, see some of their fine work and their 5-star reviews. So if you're looking to restore your home, add on to your home, or just build from scratch, they are the folks. OnsiteConstructionFL.com. All right, we're coming to you live from Riveters here. Come on down and join us for the best happy hour in all of Tampa Bay. We got $3 domestic drafts, $5 wells, all kinds of great food here. The fresh food is absolutely fantastic, and the staff is amazing. It is Riveters right here north, just north of 275 on Dale Mabry, just south of the stadium.
But although it may seem tempting to go without health care insurance, the financial risk far outweighs the gain you may experience. For example, did you know if you simply broke your leg, it could cost you nearly $7,500? Put on top of that a hospital stay, you could be looking at $10,000 to $15,000. Ensuring that you don't go uncovered is so important, as according to CNBC, high medical bills are the highest contributing factor to why Americans end up taking money out of their retirement savings, or worse, find themselves filing bankruptcy. So go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. Now, depending on your income, you can get plans for zero premium. Our experts will guide you through the process effortlessly. They will shop many plans and find the one that's right for you. I called and I have full health coverage through Florida Blue for zero monthly premium. It's a free call. So why go uncovered? It's a huge risk. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505. Spring means a time of renewal and Rays baseball, and the folks at Italiano Insurance want to welcome the Rays to Tampa and remind you it's time to renew those insurance policies with the now famous Italiano Insurance Checkup. Let the experienced and friendly agents shop your policy for the best price and coverage. Famous for saving me over $1,000 on our auto insurance last year and over $500 on our homeowners. Now that's a grand slam. Might as well get a double play by adding flood insurance and business insurance to your portfolio. Costs less than you think, and trust me, you do not want to risk your home or personal wealth. That's a big whiff. So step up to the plate and call 813-877-7799 and chat with the all-star agents at Italiano Insurance. 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Rays! JP here for Riveters, our new official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. And just like our show, no BS, no corporate chain feel, just amazing, authentic folks serving great comfort food in a casual atmosphere at unheard of prices. Riveters is located just south of Raymond James and Steinbrenner Field on Dale Mabry, walking distance to the park, so free parking, great place for pregame and postgame. Let's talk about fresh food. Nothing is frozen. Burgers, wings, prime rib, roasted fresh daily, never frozen. That makes a huge difference. The mahi, the salmon, also super fresh. All our sauces are original recipes made in-house. Our Warhawk chili and fully loaded potato soup is made fresh in-house. It's the best food anywhere, served by people who actually care. Riveters on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of where the Bucks and Rays play. We'll see you there. Are you looking to renovate your home, rebuild after the hurricanes, or build your dream home from scratch? Well, let me tell you about my friend Jason Fawcett and On-Site Construction. They have over 1,450 satisfied clients, 25 years of experience, over 500 designs, and a talented team of over 40 construction professionals. They believe building something exceptional begins by truly focusing on all the details, even the smallest ones. We understand that construction can be a daunting process, and we're here to make it as smooth and stress-free as possible. Quality is non-negotiable at On-Site Construction. We use the finest materials, employ the most skilled tradespeople, and adhere to the highest industry standards to deliver a product we're proud of and that you're going to love. Our project management is meticulous with a focus on completing projects on time and on budget. Your happiness is our primary driver. So give us a call at 813-579-5789 or check out our incredible website at onsiteconstructionfl.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here as we roll on at Riveters here. Johnny Gerber, PGA Pro. We haven't gotten your take yet on the Open. Yeah, we're going to get a leaderboard and find out exactly.
We got some time. We're still watching. There's still a lot of carnage going on out there, so it's going to be fun to watch, right?
We'll be giving away 2 front row tickets to a Rays game here at the end of the show. So if you're here around 6:45, we'll be giving away those tickets. We'll do a little Rays trivia. So the first one who gets the answer and runs up here and tells us will win those 2 front row tickets.
Hurry up, run.
Absolutely. Have you have a leaderboard yet? Where are we at?
We still got JJ Spawn. It looks like it's -4.
That surprised you that he shot a 66 today, JJ Spawn?
100%. It surprised me that anyone shot 66. And, you know,
The way they were bitching and crying all week long, when.
they got very fortunate, and we talked about this before we started, is it's soft for Oakland, right? Those scores, if somebody gets to 5, that's about probably the most they're going to get, and it's going to start to go down. They're going to get a little bit of rain. It looks like they might get a little bit, but they don't have the sub airs like these new golf courses, right? So they're going to have.
Timmy put up a leaderboard. There you go.
Does it surprise? I'm going to tell you, like we talked about Sam Burns. It scared us after last week losing in that playoff. But there's 3 guys on that leaderboard that's not going to win. M's not going to win. Lawrence is not going to win, and Matthew Bavon's not going to win. So
how do you know? How do you know Sanjay M's not going to win?
They're not going to win. It's just they're not going to win. They're not.
You know, he's been competitive in majors, but he's never been able to get over the hump. So that's how you know
there's not going to win.
He's not going to win.
He's not going to win. Now, ball striking wise, he is elite of elite, but he doesn't have the putting and the strike. He probably hit 14 or 15 greens today. That's what he'll hit. He's not going to he's not going to be able to do that for the longevity of the tournament.
Okay.
So his weakness is his putting. He lived in Tampa for a long time. I mean, he played at TPC Tampa Bay, just notorious for a great ball striker. But for this golf course in the U.S. Open, man, you can't go. He's not going to hit 14 greens every day.
Yeah,
he's just not. So you're looking at that leaderboard, and I hate to say it that way and cut these people out, but they're not going to win.
Where did Rory finish today? I saw he was 2 under early on.
+3 or 4.
He's
+4. He shot 40. He shot 42 on the backside.
42.
Yeah. You could probably beat that out there.
No.
Not out there, but you could probably beat that. But
Well, I shot 37 the last 9 hole.
And that's pretty good.
So that's not bad.
No,
but it wasn't an oak mud.
No. Listen, it would surprise me. We talked about this on your show on Wednesday. I didn't think anybody would go through a round without making a bogey. JJ Spawn did. He didn't make a bogey today.
That's incredible.
It's incredible is an understatement how that works. But he's not going to go through that. He's not going to go through it every week. I mean, he got his round out, which is great. I like JJ. He's fine. He's one of the grinders on the PGA Tour. He's had 2 opportunities to win this year. Cognizance, and then obviously most people saw the Players' Championship that is losing in the playoff to Rory. Maybe that toughened him a little bit, but this is just a different animal. I mean, you're not going to go, how do you bounce back? He hasn't had his disaster hole and see how he bounces back. Everyone's going to have it. Rory just didn't do it well. I thought he drove it incredible today on the front side, and we talked about this all the time. Rory's game is predicated on how well he drives the golf ball.
Right.
He got squirrely. He got too aggressive on the backside, and it just bit him. It just bit him. So, like I said, the leaderboard is intriguing. Let's see how it plays out. We still got a couple more hours to play out in terms of, and we'll see. We'll see. But this is what happens in the U.S. Open. You're going to have some names. Tristan Lawrence, South African guy. If you're not in the know of golf, people don't know, well, who is this guy? Well, he's a world-class player. He's won 5 times across the world. He's not winning the U.S. Open, but he's a world-class player. JJ Spawn, I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Where did Scheffler finish today?
He was 2 over the earliest I saw. He's probably got 6 or 7 holes left.
Yeah, 2 over after 14.
And again, you look at what we talked about early on your show on Wednesday was his deficiency is lag putting. And he's not able to get the ball close enough to the hole on these greens. Lag putting is coming into play with him.
Right.
And it's just very, very difficult. Now, do I still think even par, 1 under, 1 over is going to win the golf tournament? Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're +2, +3, +4 today, you're still fine.
You're okay.
You're in touch.
You are okay.
Just because the leader's at 4 under doesn't mean it's going to stay at 4 under.
It's not stinking. I still like where Oberg is. We had him early in the week. I loved how he played. He just made a couple simple little mistakes. Didn't hit foul balls, but just made really simple mistakes, and that can happen. I think he'll clean that up.
Patrick Reed made an albatross today. Yeah, did you see that shot? I did not see the shot. Tell me about it.
He hit a little 3-wood on the par 5. That's I mean, it looked like it.
How far?
He was 268 on the par 5.
Wow.
It made it. But you look, Max
made it from 268.
289. He was 289 now.
Max
289.
I have.
Really?
289.
Yeah, 2 on a par 5. That's not that hard. I've had
a 2 on a par 5 is not that hard?
I've had 8 hole-in-ones.
Wow.
And the cool part is I've had 4 of them on the same hole.
On the same hole?
Yeah, at my club in Columbus. So obviously that's my favorite hole, and I know how to play that hole. It was same club every single time. So
just did the same shot. Pretty simple.
Same shot.
Same pin placement?
No, a little different pin placement. But small greens. But
right.
But you look at a guy like there's been a little bit more hole outs. Maxwell Moravano, kid who played at Ohio State, holed out on the first hole for 2.
Damn.
Just turned pro last year. First hole makes a 2. All downhill from there.
That's your first hole as an amateur at the U.S. Open.
He turned pro, second U.S. Open, but great player, All American ice. Made it on number 1.
Jesus.
2. Yeah, I mean there you go. Start to U.S. Open. He has something to say for the rest of his life. He was a leader in the U.S. Open.
I covered this is a true story. Covered a guy from Greensboro, North Carolina. I was up there 1996. I believe they're playing at Congressional, if I'm not mistaken.
Congressional's in Maryland.
Yeah, right outside of D.C. So we followed him to the U.S. Open. This is a guy that qualified. He was a driving range pro. And I don't mean like a nice driving range. I mean like
tin cup.
Tin cup all the way. And so he his tee time was like 7:10. So he was one of about the first 3 or 4 groups to go out, and he birdied number 1. So leader of the U.S. His name was at the top of the freaking U.S. Open leaderboard.
Not a lot of guys can say that.
And we took pictures of it. You know, we got sent it to his family. We did, you know, at the end of the interview, at the end of his day, I think he shot a respect. He was like 3 over for the day, which is not bad at all. But yeah, he was leading the. I mean, this is a Tin Cup driving range pro that, you know, had the day of his life and qualified for the U.S. Open. It was leading the U.S. Open. Freaking unbelievable story.
The great part about the U.S. Open, there's so many stories like that, right? I mean, it is the working man's opportunity to play golf. If you can play, you have an opportunity to play in the U.S. Open. It's just the way it is. It's not the elitist. It's you can qualify, you can get in, and there's so many really cool stories. I mean, you look at like the story today, Ben Boat, who was a caddy in Oakmont. He's in this now in Indianapolis, qualified for the U.S. Open. 6'6", hits it farther than anybody in the field.
Really?
Yeah, and he was the first tee time this year at the U.S. Open, very first tee time, because they gave him that opportunity. Ex-caddy, stories like that are just awesome.
Did he get on top of the leaderboard?
He made par on the first hole.
Okay.
He hit it 60 yards left on the first hole, which pretty good. I mean, listen, first tee time, all the pressure. He's still an amateur dentist. Hit it 60 yards and made par.
He was hitting balls next to Scotty Scheffler yesterday, I think, on the range. There was some picks.
Yeah. I mean, so listen, the storylines in the U.S. Open are better than any storylines, in my opinion, in sports.
Yeah.
Because you just don't see the working man that's a car mechanic can go out and qualify. Caddies qualify for the U.S. Open. You just don't see that in sports.
Yeah.
And that's one of the beauties about the U.S. Open.
All right. Anybody else? Sam Burns, who should have won last week, who you had on your betting card.
Yep. 3
under par through 14. Does he have the game to win here?
Yeah, he does. And we talked about that. I liked him going into this week, but I just thought that maybe how he finished last week I didn't like. Sam's greatest attribute is lag putting, and this is what you have to have. And for him to 3-putt the last hole from 25 feet just kind of threw me off. And I liked him all week going into here. That just threw me off. And he was in our pod. I couldn't get over the fact of what happened last week to get him in. Does he have he has the game for sure. He has to win the U.S. Open. Sam Burns, he has the game to win a major. Will it be the U.S. Open? Yeah, we'll see. But betting aspect, it just threw me off what happened to him last week. I just couldn't do it.
John Rahm's at 2 under through 14.
Yep.
I mean, we've seen it with John. He got a contention at the PGA or the Masters? PGA? Masters.
And the PGA. He was both.
But he failed down the stretch. Do you think anything about the Live Tour only playing 54 holes? Is that?
No doubt about it. Absolutely.
His stamina is just not there.
It's stamina, it's mentality. I mean, when you're used to, I don't want to say a corny analogy. When you're used to going to bed at 7 o'clock at night and you have to stay up till 11, your body, it's different. It's right. You're changing. You're not used to things. And yeah, is it the number one factor? Yeah, I'm not sure. But was it a factor that he didn't close in the PGA? 100% was. John Rahm, the thing with John Rahm, I like when John Rahm plays the PGA Tour. I think he's good for the PGA Tour.
Hell yeah.
I like his fire. I like when all the guys are together. But John Rahm still thinks he's part of the PGA Tour. He thinks he can get both. He thinks he can take all that money and then come back to the PGA Tour, and it's all good, and these guys are going to embrace him. It doesn't work. It's not working. If you looked at John Rahm, who's he playing practice rounds with? Live guys. He's not playing with PGA Tour guys. He played practice rounds with Phil.
Are they freezing him out?
I mean,
it's a chilly reception.
It's not. Listen, they're not going to eat steaks together. They're not. They're not going out and having drinks together. It's getting better, right? As I think as they continue to try to make something work, I think they're farther off. I think they're further away now than they were a year ago.
Really?
Yeah, I really do.
I thought we were supposed to be close.
We were supposed to be close, and I thought that was too. But I think we're not close to where we were when they first started and had visions of grandeur, right? I think it's further away, and I don't know why. They're not saying a lot of things. But John Rahm still thinks he's a member of the PGA Tour. He does. And he's really kind of the only guy that way. But if you also look at, he's really supporting his team because the U.S. amateur champ, Ballastar, went to Arizona State, has that lineage, just signed with Liv. And he's a big name. So he's still recruiting.
He's also a Spaniard.
Spaniard.
Okay.
And his team is Spaniards, right? So he's still recruiting guys for his team
for the Liv,
but still wants to be a part of the PGA Tour. So, I mean, I don't know. John, he's a complex guy, but do I think he's good for the PGA Tour and good for golf? Yeah, 100%.
Well, we'd all like to see them all get back together.
Absolutely.
But that may not be in the offing.
Koepka was up there for a little while. He was
saw that. He's 2 under.
I like it, but he's going to – I think he fits in that same category.
He's back to even after 15.
Not bad.
Yeah.
He'll take that. I promise you if he gets to even par. But he fits that same category, playing 72 holes as opposed to 54 holes and riding in carts and, being more lax and not having that competitive spirit or drive, getting used to it Now, Koepka is a guy that I'll look at a little bit different because at least he was honest. He said, man, I took the bread.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was going to play again. I was hurt. I'm going to take the money. My family's all set.
Yeah.
And if it goes to, if it happens, I can play the majors because I'm a major championship winner.
Right.
And if it goes to, we reunite again, cool. But I'm okay. You never heard him bitch one thing about coming back to the PGA Tour.
No. And
I'm not really the biggest Koepka fan. Had a lot of interactions with him, but at least he was honest.
Yeah.
And DJ's the same way. DJ's like, man, I took the money. I'm going to play golf for 3 or 4 more years. I'm done. I want to do other things. And I'm okay with it. I am 100% okay with that. I'm not what JP, you've been around for so long. What do they tell you in sports with athletes, man? You don't talk about people's family. You don't talk about mess with their money.
Right.
And I'm okay with it.
But it's not good for the game.
It's not good for the game.
That's my point. Is that live golf has not been good for the overall game.
I agree.
Their PGA Tour ratings are down. Interest in golf, I think, is not what it used to be. I think a lot of people, look at live golf, and I don't think anybody's watching live golf.
No.
I don't understand. Once you've won major championships like John Rahm and DJ and Brooks Koepka, I mean, isn't that? And these guys were still in their prime when they went to the Live Tour. It's not like they're Sergio Garcia, 43 years old, and still trying to hang on. These guys were in their prime, especially Rahm, and you become a complete afterthought in your sport. Like, you're irrelevant. You made yourself irrelevant in the prime of your career for money. And all of them had more money than they're ever going to spend in their lives, even before they took the Live money.
Yeah, I don't think they care. I think
clearly they don't.
Yeah, I don't think they care. Their mindset is, man, I play golf for money. Doesn't really matter where I play. But you also
you golfers are like that.
A little bit
soulless.
Well, we're not.
You're soulless. It's just about the money.
Don't be general. Don't generalize now. No, stop.
But pro golfers.
But you also realize with Sergio, DJ, and Brooks, they're major championship winners, so they're going to play in the majors, and that's especially Brooks. That's all he give a shit about anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So he's singular when it comes to that. So these guys.
But he's never going to win another major.
Man, I don't know. If he can stay healthy.
He's got the talent, obviously, but you're not refining the talent on a weekly basis and keeping that razor sharp focus that you need to compete at the highest level.
I agree.
While these other guys are doing it every week, they're getting the reps in the highest pressure. These other guys are out playing a carnival.
Yeah.
I just don't think that you can just flip it on and go, okay, I'm ready to go win a Masters now. I'm ready to win a U.S. Open.
No, you can't.
My game is laser sharp. I just don't. My mental, because 99% of the winning these majors is mental.
100%.
How do you handle your nerves in that moment? How sharp is your short game? How good is your putting? Like, the most minute miss on the club face could be the difference between winning that tournament down the stretch and not.
Yeah.
And they're just not getting the reps that these other guys are getting on a weekly basis.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And I don't feel sorry for them. I look at some of the rising stars that potentially could be on the PGA Tour. The Ballastar kid going to Live. I mean, he's going to Live. He's never going to win a major. He's not. Does he have the game, the talent? The U.S. amateur champion has the opportunities. Yeah, Could he win a major? Who knows? But he's taking the money, and that's fine. And you see, I'm more concerned about the younger guys that have massive potential that are taking the money, and they're never gonna see where their potential is. And that's what more so I'm concerned. You're never going to see the new up and coming rising star that potentially that you could see on the PGA Tour that would go to live.
Yeah,
that's what I'm. That's what I'm worried.
Yeah. All right. Hey, if you guys have any questions, you can pop them up in the comments. You can do that on YouTube. You can do that on Twitter at X, or you can do it on our Facebook as well. Tim Witherspoon says the cut might be +3 or 4. I think it may be higher than that.
More than
that.
It'll be more than that.
Probably closer to 8 or 9.
10-shot rule anyways. So you'll look at the 10-shot rule, and then I think it's more than that. I mean, usually a rule of thumb is whatever you look at, see it today, double it up, and maybe a little bit more, right? I think it's going to play harder tomorrow than it did today. They don't want to see everybody withdraw today, right? They want a 154-man field. They don't want 54 guys playing.
How's Duffy Waldorf doing? B wants to know.
He's drinking wine in his chateau in L.A., I think, probably. So he's doing just fine. All
right, we'll take another quick break. When we come back, we'll get a little bit more into the Buccaneers from what we saw in the first OTAs, the first 3 days of OTAs. They're over now, and I got lots of stories from OTAs. We heard from Mike Evans today. Bucky Irving talked today as well. And we also heard from Anthony Walker, AWalk, as they call him, a new linebacker. So we'll take a quick break. We're brought to you by the folks here at Riveters. If you've not come down and had some of the chicken wings, and we haven't ordered our wings yet.
We're getting them. We're going to get them.
Yeah, the rain is starting to come down, but we're good. We're beautiful. Got a great crowd here. Tim, if you want to take the crowd shot, we get to show everybody, all the folks, and say hello. We're going to be, there we go. We're going to be giving away, I love the outdoor atmosphere here.
This place is awesome.
The indoor, outdoor, this casual atmosphere here. It's absolutely fantastic. And if you haven't had the food here, it is absolutely incredible. So we're going to take a break. We'll order some wings, and then we'll be giving away these front row tickets to the Rays game coming up in just a little bit. Stay with us.
Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com. JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. You know, we told you about the amazing Diamond Savings Account where your diamond never loses its value. Well, now, through the end of May, the Gold and Diamond Source will double your trade-in value up to $2,500. Just bring in your jewelry to trade, and your $2,500 piece turns into $5,000. It's time to upgrade that ring, earrings, whatever. We have gemologists on site to make the deal. Double your trade value up to $2,500. Get you $5,000 to spend. So go through your jewelry box and get that stuff you never wear and get something new and stylish that you're going to love. Great experience, and we will double your trade-in now till the end of May. We can finance you as well. No interest for 5 years, only at the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at goldanddiamond.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves, who lives right here and has long been a highly respected member of our community. He's a proud sponsor of the Tampa Riverwalk. Jeeves Law Group is also a proud sponsor of our Grand Central District in St. Pete and has neighborhood events throughout the year. He has an office on Central Avenue in St. Pete and one on South Howard in Tampa. You can't get more local than that. So when you need an attorney, you're going to hire some huge firm that advertises all over the state or the one that supports your favorite sports show. It's the Jeeves Law Group. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. For personal injury and personal attention, call us for a free case evaluation. That's 8889-JEEVES. That's 8889-JEEVES. Hey, Tampa Bay, it's time to get your AC unit ready for summer. And here at Third Generation Plumbing and Mechanical, we recommend getting ahead of the game, keeping your family cool before the hot summer months with one of our maintenance agreements in the hopes of avoiding the dreaded emergency service call. Our maintenance agreements include, we'll test the electrical components, check and tighten high and low voltage wire connections. We'll check the refrigerant for manufacturer's performance levels, test thermostats, calibrate if needed, clean the evaporator coil and condenser coil, and clear and treat the drain line and drain pans. Just call us at 813-961-8024 for the special rates, and a human will actually answer. 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, we are back here at Riveters. Thank you guys for coming on down. We'll be giving away those front row tickets, and we're going to give away some swag right now.
T-shirts.
We got some T-shirts. Who wants a FanStream Sports T-shirt? The beautiful Patrick, come on over here. Intern Patrick. Let's put the crowd camera on there if we can. Here, grab some of these T-shirts over here and hand them out. Give Mike one. We got some T-shirts right over here.
What's Mike? What's Mike wear?
Mike, what size are you? Extra large. You got an XL for Mike?
You do.
We do.
Patrick, rummage around there with those extra large, my man.
There we go.
We got a bunch.
And we'll be giving away those front row tickets here in just a bit as well to Ray's game coming up. Glad they're not playing tonight. It's absolutely coming down. The batting practice would definitely be washed out tonight, no question about it. And we'll get a little bit more Bucks talk here as well. As Johnny Gerber, PGA Pro, is joining me here. We're talking a little U.S. Open. There you go. Yeah, extra large. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So, 3 days of OTAs this week for the Buccaneers. And, you really want to zero in on the new players, obviously, the rookies, some of the new guys. Hassan Reddick is going to be such an incredible addition to this team. He talked to the media yesterday. We got a chance to ask him a few questions. And one of the questions I asked him was, obviously he's a very strong personality, very charismatic guy. He gives me JPP and Ndamukong Suh vibes. That grizzled veteran that has been there, done that. And guys look up to him already. Chris Braswell said, hey, I asked him, watch my reps. Tell me what you think I'm doing wrong. I asked Bowles about him. He said, you can already see the way this guy just sees the game differently. He knows, how to close down a running play, the angles to take, the quickness off the ball. You could see in a couple of drills they're not in pads, so they can't hit. He would have had 2 or 3 sacks. He would have had 3 or 4 tackles for loss. He's just moving quicker than a lot of guys you normally see because he's not 290. He's 6'1", 6'2", probably about 245, 250, and he is just lightning quick. I mean, his quick twitch it jumps out at you. It really, really does. And then you hear him talk, and he just exudes confidence, and it's exactly what this defense needs. We talked about it. In the offseason, you look at the guys and the personalities on this defense. There's a lot of good dudes, a lot of nice guys. There's no, I'm going to say no dogs, but there's just not, there's the Warren Sapp attitudes, those type of guys. You just don't see that. And he kind of brings that attitude. He kind of brings that, I'm a grown-ass man, and I'm going to knock your D in the dirt. And I just love his vibe, and I think it's exactly what this team needs.
Yeah, is that a I mean, I don't think that's a common thing, right? I mean, a new guy coming into a locker room that you hear all the noise outside that he had issues with the Jets, didn't report, and doesn't come into camp early, and then you're coming to a new team. That's not normal, right? So obviously he has something in him, innate in him that people are gravitating to him. Yeah. I mean, obviously he's a great player, but athletes understand athletes, right? Athletes understand different types of guys that they'll gravitate to, and they will help them win. I mean, you're looking at a guy that's bringing in your locker room. If he was a marginal player, people wouldn't perceive him.
No, absolutely not.
But is it too overblown? Was it too overstated that he didn't come in early?
Yeah, and I'll take some blame for that as well. And I'm not going to recant what I said. If you're new to a team, I think, especially in his situation where he didn't report, there was a lot of questions about it. And then, but he was here in phase one. He showed up, and then he went away for a while, and he explained it. And I love the way he kind of took charge of the question yesterday. There was one question asked, and he kind of answered it, and he said, "But before you guys even ask me, I'm gonna shoot straight. This is what's up." And then he explained. He said, "Look, I typically work out on my own with my trainer." And he put a video out on social media. He's like, I worked his ass off. And you could see what he was doing. You could see he's in great shape. But he also said, I want to take care of all my personal business. I want to come to camp. I want to come to training camp. I want to come to mandatory OTAs and have my mind clear. I don't want to have, everybody has a personal life. We don't know what he's going through, what his family issues are. I'm sure there's, it's complicated being a professional athlete. Your family's always wanting something. Everybody wants something. You're the guy that everybody comes to. You got to take care of everybody. That's just the culture that's the way it works with these guys. So you got a lot of loose ends probably in your personal life. I don't mean that in a bad way. Just, you got a lot of responsibilities. And I'll stay up here. I'll take care of we don't know if it's, family, kids, whatever. We don't know what it is. But he said I needed to take care of my business so I could come here and work with a clear head. I'm like, okay, that sounds good to me. And when you have that gravitas that we're talking about, he exudes that. Like, he just exudes that. And that's why I love going to camp and doing interviews and looking a man in the eyes and asking him questions and see how he responds to me. And it's just like, this is a grown ass professional man, athlete. And he just walks with a confidence. He exudes that gravitas, and he can go into a locker room and, people aren't going to be like, oh, here's the superstar diva that didn't show up for the Jets. And, he's kind of over there doing his own. I've seen guys like that. I've seen the Sean Jackson and the Chris Bakers and a lot of these guys that come in and they don't fit in.
Right.
This guy, and I asked him that, how do you balance that strong personality on a team like this that has no divas, that is all about team? You can't just, barge into this locker room and say, hey, I'm here. You got to, there's a certain way to go about it. And I think he's gone about it in a really classy and correct way.
Yeah, and you got to firmly believe that before he got signed and before all this stuff happened, he went to the upper management and Jason Light and said, "Hey, listen, this is what I need to do. This is what I'm going to do." Before the
team had no issues with it.
No. Just because the players didn't know and it came out in the public, oh, he's not here. Internally, they certainly had to know.
Communication was good.
They had to, and you call them paper pros, right? You see the paper in the booklet, but you never know what's happened on the back end. Right. So, hey, listen, how he did it, I love it.
Yeah.
Let me get my stuff done, and then I'm all in.
Yeah.
As opposed to a guy like Aaron Rodgers that makes you linger and have no communication.
Yeah. How not to do it.
But you firmly got to believe that he went to Jason Light and Todd Bowles and say, hey, listen, you don't have to tell it to the team. You can if you want to. And maybe they said it internally. It was a given. They knew what was going on. And say, let me take care of this. I'm good. I'm training. I'm working out. You're right. He's a pro. He's not a third team player. He's a stud.
He's a stud.
Listen, and I promise you, when I get all this stuff done and I get back, I'm all in.
Right.
I'm all in. And you
take care of your business.
You firmly got to believe that conversation happened before anything else and all the other stuff that people said was going to happen.
Well, a couple other things, and I asked him about, I said, you played on some really good teams. What do you think about the culture here of the Buccaneers, the talent level? And he's like, hey, man, I looked all around the league. This is one of the reasons I'm here. This team is ready to win a Super Bowl. There's no question about it. They've got the talent. I wanted to go somewhere where I could look, he's in a contract year. We're not going to hide it. He wants to go somewhere where he can put up some numbers. And he knows he's going to get singled a lot because you got to double team Vita Vea. You got to double team Cansey. You got to double team Yaya Diaby. You can't double everybody. He's going to get plenty of doubles. He'll get chipped and all that. He's used to all that. But he also knows he'll get his opportunities singled up, and those are the time he's going to eat. And he also knows he's going to be playing right next to Vita Vea. And nobody, and I mean nobody, closes down the pocket like Vita Vea. He pushes the pocket back. And we kind of talked about this yesterday. When you watch football, right? Guys, you get pressure around the outside. What does the quarterback do? Especially a right-hander, steps up and to his right into that little crease there. Well, when Vita Vea is pushing the guard back into the quarterback's lap, there is no crease. Yeah. There's no place for him to escape up the middle, which means if you're coming off the edge, you're going to get the sack. You're going to get the strip. And he knows. I mean, that duo right there, if you run a game with Vita Vea where he, closes down on the tackle and the guard goes with him a little bit, Vita's going to take both of those guys out, and he can come right around the middle and get that sack too. So he knows who he's working with, and he knows the group around him. And the other thing I love about this, when you add Hassan Reddick and you add that part of the equation, and now with Bowles, and you can hear the corners talking about this too, they said we're going to be playing up in their face. They're going to be press man all the freaking time. So I can't wait to see this defense and the metamorphosis of this, not only Hassan Reddick, but having two more corners in Benjamin Morrison and Jacob Parrish, who everybody is raving about. And that's another kid. I watched him for 3 days. He's just he moves at a different speed. He is quick. He is and he's built too. He's not one of these frail nickel guys. He's a solid 5'10", 205 pounds, and he runs a 4.3, and he is fast and he's quick twitch. He's powerful, and he has good instincts. So you look across the board, and they've done such a good job, as they did last year, of addressing all of their needs in the draft and in free agency. Jason Light and his crew has done an absolutely fantastic job of addressing their needs. I can't wait to see these guys put it into play, week one against the Falcons, because I think this defense is going to be completely different. You won't even recognize it. And then you put Servassier Voss out there, Servassier Dennis, sorry, who they call Voss. Anthony Walker today, who's played 8-9 years in the league, who's playing behind him, said, I saw Voss make this play. I've never seen an inside linebacker play. That's one of the best plays I've ever seen in practice the other day, or OTAs earlier. He said, I'd never seen anything like that. And it was an interception that he made over the middle, just, lightning quick, snatched the ball and took it for a pick six. And so, Servassier has that kind of talent. And when an 8-9 year vet in this league says something like that about it, he knows he's special. And that was a huge deficiency for this team last year. The middle of the field was just, as we called it, the great wide open.
Yeah.
And now you've got two linebackers in Levante David and Servassier Dennis, who now can play that middle of the field a hell of a lot better than they did last year. Plus the pressure, plus, you got nickel guys and Tyke Smith now that at safety, who's got great ball instincts, who can react in the middle as well. And Antoine Winfield back at 100%. So this defense, even though there's a lot of the same guys, there's a lot of additions. We're going to see a lot of different people out there, but we're going to see a different scheme as well. So with this 29th ranked pass defense they had last year, you're not even going to recognize it. And that's going to be a huge upgrade.
Yeah, you've been high on Servassier the whole training camp being out there. You said
I've been hot.
Yeah,
very hot.
Yeah, you said he's improved his skills, and you watch him in training camp a little bit more, proving his point a little bit, and you're hoping that who's the safety, Winfield, Antoine Winfield Jr. Hopefully he can stay healthy. But you look at a guy like Hassan Reddick, Jason Light being such a smart guy, do you think he kind of plays that game a little bit and saying, hey, listen, he knows he's in a contract year after this year, letting him doing his thing this year, hoping and giving him a little bit of leeway, hoping he will stay, even though he's probably going to get a lot more money somewhere else, building a culture, kind of convincing him, say, hey, man, we got something good here. It's a game, right? Yeah. I mean, they're not going to thrust him in and say, man, you got to do it this way. Knowing it's a contract here, they're going to play the game a little bit with him, thinking that, hey, man, we got a great thing going here. Listen, no one wants to mess with their money. Listen, the
Bucs have a reputation of taking care of their guys.
That's right.
You play well here. Shaq Barrett came here on a prove-it deal and got 17 and a half sacks, and they rewarded him with a huge contract. And I'm sure that's the first thing Jason Light said. Hey, look, I don't have to, make up some story about what could happen here for you. We did it with Shaq Barrett. We brought him in on a prove-it deal. He got 17 and a half sacks. We gave him, $75 million.
Yeah.
So you do that here and you fit in and you be that guy, we will reward you. We got cap space. We're moving forward, and we're going to give you $14 million this year. But if you play well, hell yeah, we want to keep you around.
And also what they did on, before he came to camp. Hey, man, we care about you as a person. Handle your personal stuff.
Yeah.
It's just not football for
Right.
us. We're creating a culture. We have a culture. We have a family here. And, contract here, hopefully you'll stay. I think they're doing that for a reason, but I think it's genuine. And a guy like Hassan Reddick can see the places he's been, how bad it was. He can see how good it is, right?
Yeah.
And I think he's smart enough that way.
All right, switching gears, we talked to Bucky Irving today, and I asked Bucky about having an off season. You got to remember when you're coming out of college, right? The first you go, especially if you go deep into the playoffs, playoffs, national championship game, you're playing into January, halfway through January. So now, okay, you're done. Now you got to go directly into preparing for the draft or for the combine. So now you got to, and it's a completely different workout than getting ready for football.
Yeah, no doubt.
Speed workouts, all this different strength workouts, you're trying to get your weight right, your 40 time right. It's just different. And it's intense. And you gotta do this. So you're working out for the combine. Now you get done with the combine. Now you got to do interviews. Now you got to do individual workouts. You got to travel all around the country, going to different places, doing individual workouts for teams. Okay, then you go through the draft process. Okay, then you get to the draft process. Now, your draft process is over. A week later, you're at rookie minicamp. You're getting thrown a new playbook. It's like, I got a new playbook. You're trying to meet everybody, find out where you're going to live. And before you know it, the season's here. It's just a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And so if you're able to excel in your first year, you've done something special. You've done something special in the league. And it's hard to find another player outside of Jaden Daniels that had a better first year, maybe Bo Nix.
That's fair.
Then position player wise, I don't think there was a better player than Bucky Irving. He was that dominant. So,
and using him different coming from Oregon, using him different in Oregon. I mean, he was a lot lighter at Oregon because he had to be a little bit of a swing player. They ran a motion offense with Dylan Gabriel, and it was a different thing. Now he had to put on pounds and take that pounding there and be the single back, and he's handled it well.
Yeah, and
how moving on, Kenny? That's why I think the running back behind, who's your guy that you
Rashad White, love him.
I think that's why he's stepping up. You have to have two backs in this league.
Oh, no question.
You have to.
Yeah.
And when he was in Oregon, he was a fast guy. He was probably 190 pounds, 185 pounds, running that swing offense with Dylan Gabriel. They're faster. They're faster than a road runner out there. Now it's a little bit different, right? It's a little bit different. You got to carry the load.
And he came on at the end of the season once he got that starting job and was, he's phenomenal. And so you said to yourself, can he be better? Yeah. And I asked him that today, and he said, man, it's so different. He goes, it's just so different. I've had time to rest my body, I've had time, for myself. He goes, my mindset is so much different. I'm not thinking all the time. I know the offense, and that's another common theme through all the offensive players that we've talked to, including Mike Evans today. I'll relay that in a second. The continuity of this offense just makes them so much better because instead of learning a new playbook, now you're perfecting a playbook, and there's a huge difference. Now you're getting into the nuances of your offense. Now, and those nuances are the little different things that you can do at the line of scrimmage where Baker Mayfield's going to be calling a majority of the plays himself, choosing from the plays that Grizzard, but he's going to have a lot of responsibility at that. And that always gets you in good place because he can see what the defense is going to do. And now he can react to that, knows exactly where the checks are. And not only he knows it, but the players know it too. And that's what Bucky was talking about, was what Mike Evans was talking about today. Is like, now we take it to the next level.
Yeah.
We see what the defense is doing, and we all see what the defense is. We know, everybody knows what the checks is, not just Baker. And then he's got to communicate it to everybody. Everybody's got to be on the same page. That's the effectiveness of an offense last year that may have been, I would say a 7, maybe even an 8. They were the 4th best offense. You can take that to a 10. And that's the difference maker. That's the difference between losing in the first round of the playoffs and winning a Super Bowl. Yeah. The difference between being the 4th best offense. This could be the best offense in football this year. And I don't think that's a stretch.
I don't think so
because
either.
Bucky's going to be better. Rashad is down 12 pounds. And I can tell you, I said this yesterday, he made a move on Tuesday or Wednesday with a little swing pass out in the flat. And I think I think it might have been Winfield, but I'm not sure. But whoever it was had to reach down, grab the jock, and go to the sideline because Rashad White gave him a head fake. and was gone. And I've always thought Rashad's great in the open field, and the numbers show that. But this was a different type. This was a different type of move. It was kind of Bucky-esque, to be quite honest. And that's what he said yesterday. Yesterday when he talked to the media, he's like, I feel much lighter. I feel much quicker. My cuts are better. I can just feel it, and I can do things differently than I could at 223 pounds.
Yeah.
So now you got a Rashad White that's going to be better. You got Bucky who's going to be better. You got Baker who's going to be better because he's got more options at the line of scrimmage. And as Mike Evans said today, he goes, this is the best receiving core in the NFL. We're 4 deep on
I think
exceptional receivers. When you go J-Mac, Ibuka, Godwin, and Evans, I mean, it's unbelievable.
But, Super Bowl winning teams, Super Bowl winning teams have a tendency to add to their strengths, right? 50% of the teams in NFL are adding to their weaknesses because players leave. This is what the Bucs have.
Right.
Like they're not trying to fill in gaps. They're adding pluses to what they have already. I mean, who's their biggest loss this year?
They brought everybody back.
That's right. That's my point.
Here's the best stat.
So it's another year in the system, right? And they're adding players to their strengths.
The best is got to be the best stat in football. They have 100.2% of their yards coming back this year. So you say to yourself, well, how can you have more than 100%? Well, they lost the guy who lost yardage.
And they brought somebody.
And so everybody who gained yardage last year is back. And I forget who it is, but the guy who lost yardage is gone. So you actually have 100.2% of your yards coming back, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's just like anything else. I mean, you want to build your brand, build your business. If you want to build your brand, build your business, continue to build on your strengths, right? And bring people back. Don't lose your strengths, and that's what the Bucs have done.
Yeah. All right, we'll take one more break. We'll come back on the other side. We're going to give away those Rays front row tickets. So do a little Rays trivia. First one gets the answer. We'll get the front row tickets for the Rays. We're brought to you by the great folks at Riveters. Check this out, by the way.
What's that? Look at that.
Look at this.
Boy,
Look at this.
I'm a wing connoisseur.
Can you guys see the golden brown texture to those?
Wow.
Not heavily breaded, but just big wings, perfectly baked, or whatever the hell they do these things.
I'll give you the test, JP. You know how you can tell a place got great wings?
How's that?
Blue cheese.
Blue cheese. Look at
Homemade blue cheese.
Homemade blue cheese.
And I see it. I can
that
tell
ain't
already.
no joke.
I can tell already.
Joke. I'm going to rip these up in the break.
We got to go to break because I'm hungry.
All right, quick break. We'll come back on the other side. We'll be giving away those tickets. If you guys have any comments, Michael LaRue, I see you're in. We'll get to you. Cody, we'll get to you as well. Daniel Rivera. We'll hit the Rays here a little bit.
Yeah.
I got some Rays and the stuff that we need to get to. So we'll do that when we come back live to Riveters here in South Tampa. Stay with us.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Going through a medical emergency without health care insurance can cause you to go into crippling debt. In most scenarios, people are forced to either break into their retirement funds or worse, they're forced to file for bankruptcy. The sad truth is that health care insurance is crucial in today's day and age. Look, I get it. Many of you think you're never going to get sick and health insurance is really expensive. Well, we can help you out with that. Depending on your income, we can find great plans and huge discounts. God forbid you get cancer, a car accident. It could literally ruin you financially for life. So make the call and find out. Even though the open enrollment period is over, you may have some qualifying life events that can help you get covered right away. It can be very complicated, a very intimidating process, but we can help. Go to our website and check out all the 5-star reviews about our helpful agents. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505. JP here for Riveters, the official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. We're located just south of Ray J and Steinbrenner Field, so it's a great pre- and post-game spot, and the happy hour is amazing. Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Check out these specials. $3 Bud Light drafts, $4 domestic bottles, $5 wells, $6 premium wells, $6 cocktails like margaritas. It's unheard of. And the Riveters food is freshly made daily. No freezers. Happy hour food specials include $3.50 tacos and barbecue sliders. $6 you get edamame or chips with the beer cheese, which is amazing. $8 buffalo chicken dip, my favorite. The truffle fries, chili cheese fries, also $8 at happy hour. As well as other specials throughout the week, including Taco Tuesdays, you get $3 tacos, and Wing Wednesdays, 7 o'clock to 1 a.m. in the morning, you get our amazing wings, 5 for $5 and $5 wells and wines. That's a good Wednesday night. So if you're tired of the preppy, overpriced, generic sports bars, come see the amazing, friendly bartenders and staff at Riveters, where customer service really matters. Riveters, just south of where the Rays and Bucks play. We'll see you there. JP here for my friend Jason Fawcett, owner of On-Site Construction. They do residential and commercial renovations and new construction. As a leading home builder and general contractor, On-Site Construction prides itself on transforming homes through superior craftsmanship, dedication to client vision, and an unmatched commitment to quality and service. It's about building relationships. We take the time to understand our clients' needs, preferences, and budgets so that we can deliver a personalized experience tailored to their unique vision. From the initial designs to the final touches, we're there every step of the way, ensuring that the end result mirrors your vision. Here are some testimonials from happy customers. G. Gibson says, no hidden costs, very honest, reliable, creative, and communicates well. Reasonable and fair with their pricing, no hidden costs. C. Smith said, did not disappoint. I'm very happy with the work. This company really cares and will take care of it. So if you're just thinking about building or renovating, give us a call and let's see what's possible. 813-579-5789 or check out our website at onsiteconstructionfl.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, we're back. We're busy eating wings. Here we go. Still that. There it is. Oh, yeah. Welcome back to Riveters here, the JP Peterson Show. We're going to 7 o'clock. Then we're going to hang out and watch hockey. So if you're just if you're scared of driving in the rain and you're just waiting to come on down here and you can't wait to meet the handsome lad, Johnny Gerber, then come on down. We'll be sitting here watching hockey today.
It's like your Chuck Woolery, man, trying glove connection there while I'm 2 and 2.
Come on down, ladies. You know you want some of this.
2 and 2.
You want some of this.
They will have fun
I'm
tonight. They'll have fun tonight. If they come on down, they'll have a little fun.
I'll just be your wingman and throw them all your way, baby.
You're already my wingman.
Yeah.
You're already there.
You get a little bit.
You have done your yeoman's duty already. Getting these
So
beautiful
Joe Andres, one of the general manager, one of the owners here, took Joe in the back and showed him how they do the wings and all the cooking back there.
Yeah.
Said they dry rub them and bake them first.
How you supposed to do it?
Yeah, and then they throw them in the fryer right before
Flash fry 'em.
and they come out and they've got this crispy outside to them, and the inside is just absolutely.
Oh, they're glorious.
And then you do a little medium sauce dip.
Oh yeah.
Then you'll do a little blue cheese dip on top of that.
That's what I said.
I shouldn't eat on camera.
No,
so
you're okay. You're okay.
You'll have to handle the mic here for the next few
You're
minutes,
okay. You know the boss. You're in good shape.
Look
Get
at that.
it. Just don't get it all over that. Well, you can't tell with that gray beard you have there. So the blue cheese. Yeah. I always tell people all the time the way you know the place has got good wings is if they got good blue cheese. If they got homemade blue cheese and they're putting that time in to make homemade blue cheese, you know you're going to make
Cheers.
great
Cheers, man.
wings. Cheers, buddy.
Look at this. This is what life's all
This
about.
is great. What a great place. I appreciate you having me on. This is
Sorry, I didn't mean
this
to
is
chew on the microphone. That was bad.
To contrary, most people don't believe this. To contrary belief, I do visit a lot of bars. I do. And this is one of the coolest places I have. This place is.
I mean, where can you go and get a 50 cal?
I mean,
Where can you go and sit by a 50 cal?
I mean,
You know,
I
I'm
feel
going to brag
nervous.
you. I was an all-pro at
Well,
every sport. in
I
my
was-
life.
Say the wrong thing. I turn that
Well, that's
thing
what
around.
I'm saying. When I first got here, I said, "Do we have to keep this here?" And you said, "Yeah, because if you mess up, man, I'm gonna turn this thing and
Yeah,
shoot you."
yeah.
I said, "Okay, I'm fine."
Got Rosie the Riveter behind us as well. Yeah.
No. What a cool!
It's a great vibe here.
What a
It's
cool place.
such a great vibe.
Crowd is incredible. Staff is incredible. Just
Staff is amazing.
You
here.
got an outside area. We're right by the stadium. I bet this place is rocking and rolling during football.
Oh, for Metallica this weekend?
Metallica.
This place was, we have Metallica Friday, and then Saturday was UFC, and UFC is always free here. No cover charge. Most of the places will charge you a cover charge to watch UFC, never here. So we were packed for UFC on Saturday night. Friday and Sunday was Metallica.
Oh.
The Rays were playing, so people were flooding in here during the day.
This is
I mean,
glorious.
yeah, it is. This is the place to be. So if you're coming to a Ray J, coming to a concert, coming to a Rays game, I mean, this is the spot to be. And you come for happy hour, you get $3 domestic drafts. Where are you finding that these days?
No, especially not here.
$5 wells, $5, and then the food is everything's made fresh.
Yeah.
Like they cut fresh broccoli back there. Nothing is frozen. The
You like that
burgers are
chicken dip,
fantastic.
don't you? You like that?
Oh, chicken.
We're
The
gonna have to-
buffalo
we'll-
chicken
We'll
dip?
try that. We'll try
The
that.
buffalo, yeah, we got to have like first period. That'll be the first period.
Okay.
First period for the hockey game. We'll do a buffalo chicken dip.
No, it's great. But as soon as I walked in, the staff, staff for me is you walk in if they're courteous and listen. This is incredible. I mean, just the kind of the dynamic. You have an outside little patio. You have an area out there that you put on a big screen, probably for the Bucks games.
Yep.
You got a cool outside little cabanas, and you walk in, and you got some. They got their own brewery. I mean, they make their own beer here. So this is a special place here in Tampa. So
And back there, by the way, see the back there? They have private rooms. So that private room back there, they have a couple.
You can't say we're right next to you. You can't say private rooms. We're
No.
right. That's a little different.
Private rooms for events. They
okay.
do events here. They have meeting space here.
Okay,
And that bar, look at the bar. It's so
that's
cool.
just beautiful.
Patrick, say hello to your folks while you're eating your wings there. You can't hear us. Patrick. Okay.
Patrick,
He's-
don't choke on the drumstick there, son.
No, they have a couple of private rooms over there. So if you have any meetings or anything,
great.
want to spend $1 billion like it costs for meeting space, you want something casual and fun. Riveters is the place. You just have you got softball team or you have a party or something like that. You want to come in and get great food at reasonable prices.
No, I love it.
This is the place to be, and the staff is fantastic. I can't say that enough because I go to so many places. I call them the preppy sports bars.
Yeah.
Where the staff could, they couldn't be bothered at the bar to serve you a drink. You sit down, it takes them 15
They don't
minutes
care.
to come on over
They don't
and put a napkin down, and they're just not here. Not here. They come up and they greet you, put a napkin down. What can we like right away? You get great service. They're happy to do it, and sad to say that doesn't happen.
You're lucky to be here, buddy. Hopefully, we can. You won't kick me out after this show, and we'll be able to do some more stuff here.
Yes, Patrick, we caught you chowing down on camera. You made your debut. Hey, it just shows how good the wings are, pal. Let's see what we got here. Thank you, JP, for mentioning Tick Pick on your show last Friday. They got to become a sponsor. Got 2 tickets for the Rays game in section 114. Very good seats. Grand total $25. No service charge. Had the tickets within 5 minutes. Yeah, I used Tick Pick for CMAs. And these tickets that were like $350 base, got them for $125 in the club.
No, it's great.
So we had the club there, and it was absolutely fantastic, and it worked out tremendously well. So yeah, I am not a paid spokesman yet for TickPick.
Yeah.
But we're going to send them this particular spot, and we will be soon.
Yes.
Because I will send them this. No, I use it for Rays games. We got 4 tickets, front row, left field. A front row is right there. I mean, you could reach over and grab the cap of the left fielder, and the balls where that girl caught it with the bucket hat. Remember her?
Sure.
Those seats right there. 4 tickets, $20
For a
4
piece?
tickets, no service charge. 4 tickets, $20. How about that? Ticketmaster would have been even if the tickets were $10, it would have been $75 in fees.
Can we buy them for the rest of the year? Can we just
I wish.
share
I
them out?
wish. Yeah. Speaking of that, by the way, there's been a lot of scuttlebutt about now that the Rays are in playoff position. What happens if the Rays make the postseason?
Good question.
Are they going to play in Atlanta? Are they going to play in Miami? I'm just going to say this right now. Look into the camera. Fuck that. We ain't going anywhere. We ain't going anywhere. I don't care. We're going to sit through the summer with this team, and we're going to have our rain delays and sit in the heat. We're not going anywhere.
It's an advantage, right?
We're not going to. Yeah, right. All these teams come in here. All these wussbag teams. In Toronto. Oh, it's too hot out here. It's not a major league stadium.
It's Canada.
Shut up. Yeah, it's not. There you go, Timmy. We ain't effing leaving. I don't care. Like, okay, so
that's the greatest home field advantage in the playoffs.
Bring in
you
some
could
temporary
ever have.
bleachers. Bring it up to 15,000. Whatever.
Figure it out.
We'll figure it out. I don't want to drive to Miami. I don't want to drive. So what if we play in a minor league park?
And Miami's not even any better. No. There's nobody goes to the games. Like what? Like,
yeah, you're taking your life into your hands. Just going down there. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
So no, we're not effing leaving.
Why?
And the season ticket holders who paid through the freaking nose, 50, 60, 70, 80% more than they did at Tropicana Field. And we're just going to say, F these folks. If you want to go see a playoff game, you got to drive to Atlanta or Miami. That's not fair to these fans.
No.
It's not fair to these fans. Screw you, Major League Baseball. If we make the playoffs, we're playing here. The season ticket holders deserve to be rewarded. The fans that live here deserve to be rewarded. Yeah, it's going to be a tough ticket, but at least it'll be our ticket. And it'll be here. And better yet, and we said this a couple times, put the boards on at Raymond James Stadium, sell $5 tickets, and we can all cheer. And we can watch the game there right across the street. We'll have overflow crowd. You know how many we'll have for this game? We'll have, do the math there, 60,000 plus 11, 75. 71,000. We'll pack Raymond James Stadium. And we'll watch it on a big screen, and we'll cheer. And the team will hear us from across the street, and we'll have 11,000 there. Yeah, is it a little wonky? Sure, but it's better than going to Miami. It's better than having it, in Atlanta.
It's not wonky. It's called adaptation, right?
Right.
Listen. Listen. If you look at it this way, JP, the things you come up with, 50% of the time, I scratch my head. I do. I'm not. I'm helping you.
Drone tarp? You didn't like drone tarp?
That's just a little off. But this is genius. And here's why I tell you.
There you go.
Because the fans will spend more money to stay here. How much money do you think it's going to cost them to go to Miami, get a hotel? It's going to be about the same.
Right.
Now you have home field
advantage.
Yeah. Like it's not going to be that much difference.
Listen, so, we had to play it in a, quote, minor league stadium. It's, it is in some ways, but in most ways that the players care, the clubhouse, all the accoutrement that comes with it. Those are major league facilities. And we love our little Steinbrenner field. And so you're going to you guys made the playoffs. We got to go play in Miami. Like, screw that. That's screwing the fans again. The season ticket holders that have been through this and paid through the nose for their season tickets, they deserve to be rewarded and have a home playoff game. So Major League Baseball, if you're thinking that you can't have postseason play here, I say F that. If you want to sell tickets, we'll sell tickets at Raymond James Stadium.
Listen, these guys are making
and like I have so many great ideas. So before the game, have the Rays go over there and warm up. The Savannah Bananas play baseball over there, so they could put down an infield over there, and the Rays can take infield over in Raymond James Stadium for those fans. They can take batting practice over there for those fans and hit balls into the freaking stands. Like, that won't be cool?
It would be awesome.
It would be awesome.
You could create a whole extravaganza on things to do. But to bottom line, athletes.
Let's just be a little creative and just say, we can't have a playoff game instead. Why not? Let's be a little creative.
But the people who say that aren't fans anyways. And to be honest with you, the athletes that are real athletes and care about their sport, they don't give a shit where they play.
No.
They just want to win, man. They don't care.
You think the players
a few
would rather go to play in Miami for a playoff game or Atlanta than play in their home stadium?
A few, but not most.
I don't think you can find one. I don't think you can find one because they don't care how many fans. They want it to be packed and they want it to be a vibe.
I mean, they just want to win.
They want to win. And they have an advantage.
They want a ball, man.
They'll have an advantage at Steinbrenner Field. So I think all this consternation about where they should play in the playoffs, I say screw it.
Get over it.
Stay in Tampa. We'll do some stuff at Raymond James Stadium. We'll have some fun with it. It'll be different, and we'll go win.
But what's wrong with different? What's wrong? Different is cool, man.
Yeah,
Having something
like
different.
that's never happened before. Having a football stadium right across from the baseball stadium and filling that up too.
And this has
that's
never
happened before.
And this has never happened. What's going on right now with the Tampa Bay Rays playing in a minor league? Well, listen, don't get this confused. That George Steinbrenner Stadium, it's not a major league stadium. It's only a major league stadium by capacity. Those amenities they're
fantastic.
They're better than a lot of. I've been to a lot of major league parks. They're better than some major league ballpark. They're better than Cincinnati. I promise you that.
The bars, fantastic. The outdoor bars, the little indoor bars in right field and left field, they're fantastic. I love.
Listen, the guys are on the outfield, man. It's a packed stadium, and there's 6,000 people. Whoever can pass, they love it.
It's 11,000.
They love it.
11,000, and as Christopher Cole said, we could add a few more seats for the playoffs. But
Sure.
Even Stu knows if it costs, $50,000 to bring in 10,000 or 5,000 temporary states, that he'll make money on it.
Why not? Why not?
He's smart enough to do that.
Why not set up projectors in the parking lots? People come up like I'm driving. No, I'm being serious.
Absolutely. Why not?
Be creative, man. But
Rays World Series versus Dodgers, all the games in Tampa.
Love it. Love it.
Rick Tower says all the games will be at home at Rays because there'll be nothing left of LA by the time the World Series gets here. You may not be wrong. Shaq had 19 and a half sacks.
Okay.
Is that right? 17 and a half or 19? I think you're right.
Yeah, I think he's right.
My bad.
You're not wrong that often, JP. You're wrong.
And F you.
What else we got here? Michael LaRue. So why didn't Carolina, Jacksonville, or the Raiders offer Kyle Trask a contract? 2 former OCs and an assistant GM to pass on him. That, my friend, is
good question.
Straight brilliance. That is straight brilliance.
Good question.
Absolutely. I mean, that tells you all you need to know about Kyle Trask.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if
the Raiders needed a quarterback.
If the guys that you worked with and for that has trained you don't want you, what's that tell you?
I think
Yeah,
but listen, awesome. We're sitting here arguing about backup quarterback. That's how good the Bucs are.
That's right. That's right. When you're arguing about a backup quarterback and who could potentially be the replacement in case, that means you have a damn good team.
Somebody asked, is Shaq Barrett still playing? No, he's not been out there. I don't think he's signing. He came back at the end of last year, and there just wasn't a lot there, frankly. Daniel Rivera says, good evening, gentlemen. We really got to stop complaining about Steinbrenner. I'm not complaining about it at all. But, this is the national – of course, this is a national article that was out there. And they just assume, you can't play postseason baseball in Steinbrenner. Why not?
Not true.
Why not? It doesn't have big enough capacity. Okay, so tickets are a problem. Okay, well, we'll bring in some temporary bleachers. Let's get up to 15,000, maybe 17,000. Maybe we could do that. And then, we could sell tickets across the street.
Figure
put it
it
on
out.
the big board.
It's not hard.
No, is it a revenue thing? We'll make revenue. Well, if you sold like $5 tickets to Raymond James Stadium for a Rays watch party where everybody could come down and tailgate,
you sell it out.
Put the infield down. They come over and take infield. Make the people feel part of the game.
Genius.
Yeah, and then if they win, they come back, bus them over and they do a laugh and everybody cheers. Like, how cool is that?
But what?
Like, let's just get a little creative. Let's think it through and have some fun with this.
And what's the ancillary? Every place around this in this 2-mile radius
Yeah, first, by the way, I'll come to Riveters first before we do.
Every it's a win-win. Everybody prospers. It makes no sense.
All right, I want to give away these front row tickets.
Let's do it.
You know, give away the tickets. You ready? Ready? All right. We do a little Rays trivia. Mike, are you ready? Can they hear us?
Rays trivia.
Mike, Joe, you ready? Okay, here we go. Joe, you ready?
Wow.
Game 162. Game 162. Can you hear? All right. I don't want to get feedback. Game 162. Evan Longoria hits a 3-run homer. All right. 7-6. Can you guys hear me? No. Okay. They can't hear a word we're saying. That's good. All right. So Evan Longoria hits a 3-run homer in game 162 to make it 7-6. Who hit the tying home run to send it into extra innings?
Wow.
Who hit the tying home run? Mike, do you know? Here's the question for the front row tickets. Game 162. Evan Longoria hits a 3-run homer to make it 7-6. Who hit the tying home run to send it into extra innings? Dan Johnson is correct. The great Dan Johnson is correct.
How do you know that?
That's right. 2 strikes down to his last strike. He hits one down the right field line into the seats. They still have a marker on that at Trop. Well, I don't know. It may have been washed away in the hurricane. It's mold. It's got black mold on it now, unfortunately. But there was a marker commemorating the Dan Johnson home run.
We got a winner.
You get the front row tickets. Congratulations! So thanks for coming down for that.
You're a winner all day, buddy.
You got
hats, you got T-shirts, you got wings, you got tickets.
Anybody came down, got hats, they got T-shirts,
Yeah.
they got front row tickets to Rays game.
F you. F you.
Tim
F you.
Witherspoon says, "Do you think Stu would be down for all that?" Yeah, of course he would, because he'd make money.
Revenue.
Yeah. Now, if they offer him more money to go to Atlanta or Miami, he'll take the money.
But is that his decision though?
Here's the other thing: like, if you put a game on Monday or Tuesday, remember when last time we were in the playoffs, Major League Baseball was so awesome that they gave